Oh, hey everybody! Welcome to the Epic Flight Academy. This is the Private Pilot Ground School course, and we want to talk about clouds. You guessed it, a breath of fresh air. My name is Mike Thompson, and to be successful in this course, I want to remind you of three things. First and foremost, you must be studying Epic's online learning program, and secondly, these videos parallel that content. And then thirdly, to help you be successful, please review all of this content with your flight instructor. Now, what about those clouds? We talk about cloud forms and cloud categories. First of all, let's start with cloud categories. We categorize clouds into four categories: low, medium, high, and vertically developed. That fourth category for vertically developed is because the vertically developed clouds cross the low, medium, and high categories. Well, let's put some altitudes on these categories to help define. Now, in the FAA's Advisory Circular Aviation Weather, they have a chart in the chapter on clouds that defines these altitudes. At the temperate latitudes, and that's right about where Florida is, roughly 25 to 35. I don't know, Daytona Beach is around 30 degrees of latitude. In these latitudes, low clouds are defined as from the surface to 6,500 feet. At these latitudes, middle clouds are defined as from 6,500 to 23,000 feet. And we think of high clouds as above 23,000 feet. However, in these latitudes, high clouds can start as low as 16,500 feet. So you see, that's still pretty high. Those are our four categories. What about the cloud types? Now, clouds tend to form generally into one of two cloud forms. And that is, if the air is unstable, they sort of billow and puff and move vertically, and we call those cumuliform. If the air is stable, then the clouds tend to kind of stay, relatively level and flat, and we call those stratus type clouds. The other category that we want to think about are Nimbus Clouds. Now, Nimbus Clouds are a little bit of a combination between the two. They're typically more stratiform clouds, but they are full of moisture. We think of them as rain clouds, and the word nimbus is Latin for rain, hence the name Nimbus Clouds. So now let's take those two general cloud forms, cumulus and stratus, and lay it across these altitudes. Below 6,500 feet, these puffy clouds we just call cumulus, and the flat ones that we call stratus. At the mid-level, between about 6,500 to 23,000, we call these alto cumulus or alto stratus. Now, if you've ever sung in a choir maybe or played a musical instrument, you understand soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. And alto typically means about mid-level, and that's what we're talking about here. So the middle clouds, alto cumulus, alto stratus. The high clouds, we use the word cirriform, or we call those cirrus clouds. And those can also be cirrocumulus or cirrostratus. So you can see how the altitudes combined with the cloud form helps us identify the actual cloud type. that leaves us with the vertically developed cloud. That we typically think of as the cumulonimbus. That is an unstable air mass, and that is a vertically developed cloud, and we're going to talk more about thunderstorms in other videos. But these vertically developed clouds are the cumulonimbus, and these cumulonimbus clouds can reach way up into the high altitudes above 23,000 feet. Their bases can be well below 6,500 feet. These are big vertically developed clouds. Well, folks, that's it for clouds. We've got the 4 altitudes and the 2 basic types, and that helps us understand cloud forms. Well, that's it for clouds, folks. Join us next time.